He forgot about you. My cousin smirked when I asked about my brother's party. So I booked a luxury train through the Rockies and let them watch it all fall apart. My cousin Lila looked at me, completely casual, like she was commenting on the weather, and said, "Honestly, he just forgot about you." And in that moment, something inside me didn't just break, it shattered. Because he was my little brother, Ryan, and forgot meant I wasn't invited to the massive, elaborate party celebrating his return from university in London, after I'd spent years basically funding his entire life abroad. I blinked, trying to process. He forgot about me? Lila finally glanced up, her eyes flicking back to her phone, as if my confusion was just a minor inconvenience. "It's not that deep, Alex. You weren't on the list. It happens. No apology. No sympathy. Just that." "And who was that Ryan, you ask?" "Oh, just my baby brother. The one I practically helped raise. The one I paid rent for when he moved out. The one I wired money to every single month when our parents, conveniently, couldn't afford to support him overseas. The one who called me absolutely hysterical after his second exam, convinced he'd failed, and I stayed up all night, talking him down, reminding him of his brilliance. That Ryan. I paid for his phone plan so he could stay in touch with his fiancée. I filled out half his immigration paperwork because he hated forms. I even sold my vintage guitar, a piece of my history, to help him cover the deposit for his student flat. And he forgot about me? The party was everywhere online. A catered garden reception at our parents' place, string lights twinkling, a champagne tower glinting. Someone playing saxophone. Everyone was there, uncles, aunts, cousins I hadn't seen in years. Even that neighbor Ryan hated growing up. Everyone but me. I wasn't invited. The captions were a punch to the gut. "So proud of our golden boy. Welcome home, Ryan. Your family loves you." My name wasn't mentioned. Not once. Not in the speeches, not in the posts, not in the photos. I closed the app. My phone buzzed with another notification from the party. I just turned it off. That night, something shifted. I didn't rage. I didn't cry. I just opened my laptop and booked it, a luxury train ride through the Rockies. First class. Full window carriage. A private suite. Multi-course dinner. Quiet. I didn't tell anyone. Packed my bag and left the next morning. No explanations. No texts. And you know what? No one even noticed. While they toasted Ryan with champagne, I sipped black coffee in a plush leather seat, watching sunlight break across snowy peaks. The train hummed beneath me like a secret. The silence was better than any speech. If you don't make the guest list, make your own plans. That's what I kept telling myself. You were the one who wanted to help. No one forced you. That's what my mother said when I finally asked why no one had invited me. Let me take you back. When Ryan got into grad school in London, our parents were absolutely thrilled. Mostly because it meant they could brag. "Our youngest is going international," they'd tell everyone. He's always been the smart one. At every family dinner, every group call, Ryan was the star. I was the stage crew. Hidden. Necessary. Unseen. Who filled out the visa documents when Ryan didn't understand a word of legal jargon. Me. Who wired the first semester deposit while our parents claimed their accounts were frozen. Me. Who stayed up refreshing embassy forms until 3 a.m. because Ryan lost his passport before finals. That was me too. I never complained. I just handled it. Because I loved my brother. Or maybe I just desperately wanted someone to finally say, "Thanks, Alex. We see what you're doing." Instead, I got silence. Or worse, guilt-tripping. "You're the oldest," Dad said one night. "It's your job to help your brother get on his feet." "My job?" I asked. "He's 24, not 14. You don't have a family of your own," Mom cut in dismissively. "So it's not like you've got other obligations." That hit me harder than I let on. It was true. No partner. No kids. Just a small apartment, a steady income, and the kind of silence that followed you into bed at night. I told myself that helping Ryan gave my life purpose. That every transfer, every favor, was me doing something useful. So when he left for London, I didn't just wave goodbye. I became his shadow assistant, his therapist, his emergency fund. When he called crying because his long-distance fiancée was thinking of leaving him, I flew her to him. That's not a metaphor. I paid $1,400 for a flight and told her it was from him, so he wouldn't feel ashamed. They made up. She posted a reel with soft lighting and a caption that said, "When he does everything to make it work." Of course, I wasn't tagged. When he lost his internship and panicked about paying rent, I pulled from my emergency fund, the one I'd been saving for a down payment on a condo, and said, "Don't worry, just focus on school." But the more I gave, the less I heard from him. Messages went from full paragraphs to one-word answers. Calls stopped. My name faded from the conversation. I didn't even know he was flying home until Lila mentioned it at a family brunch. "Oh yeah, Ryan gets in next week," she said, dipping her toast in yolk. "There's a huge thing planned." I nearly choked on my coffee. A huge thing. Yeah, backyard reception, garden lights, open bar, live music. Like a whole vibe. I blinked. No one told me. Lila paused, like she'd realized she'd slipped. "I'm sure you're invited." "You must be." But I wasn't. A week later, still no invite. No call. Nothing. So I texted Mom. "Hey, what's the plan for Ryan's return? Want me to help set up?" She replied 4 hours later. "Oh, it's mostly under control. We thought you were busy with work." Busy with work. I stared at the message for a long time. That was it. "No, we'd love to have you." "No, come early. Ryan would love to see you." Just we assumed. I showed the text to my friend Maya that night. She read it twice, then said quietly, "You know they're icing you out, right? I'm the one who helped him survive London." I practically yelled. "Exactly," she said. "And now he doesn't need you. That's why this is happening." Still, I held on to a shred of hope. The night of the party, I dressed like I might still be invited last minute. I kept my phone close, just in case. Nothing came. Instead, I watched the stories roll in. Ryan hugging our parents beneath a string of golden lights. Ryan dancing with his fiancée to a live saxophone. Ryan raising a toast while my dad clapped like he'd just won Father of the Year. Lila posted a group photo with the caption, "The people who matter most." I wasn't in it. I called her. I never do, so she answered instantly. "Hey Alex, what's up? Why wasn't I invited?" Silence. "Lila." She sighed. "I don't know, maybe you should talk to Ryan." Then, after a pause, she just blurted it out. "Honestly, he just forgot about you." Just like that. I hung up before she could add anything. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just opened my laptop, went to the Via Rail website, and booked something I'd looked at for years. The panoramic luxury train across the Canadian Rockies. 4 days. Full glass domes. Gourmet dining. No phone service. No family. The confirmation email popped up, and for the first time in months, I felt peaceful. They had made their guest list. I'd make my own. The day after I boarded the train, the party burned down. Metaphorically. And almost literally. But I didn't know that yet. I was in a glass dome carriage somewhere between Jasper and Kamloops, sipping red wine while sunlight spilled over the Rockies. It was silent, but not empty. The kind of silence that has weight, like it's holding your grief and giving you space to breathe. My phone buzzed, no service, of course. The train didn't believe in distractions. So I didn't know what was happening back home. Not yet. Not while I was watching golden trees blur past snowy cliffs and eating duck confit off white porcelain. But they were unraveling. They always thought I was the quiet one. The boring one. The one who'd never snap. And maybe that was true, until they made it painfully clear I didn't matter. Apparently, the unraveling started when Ryan's fiancée, Clara, found out that he hadn't paid for any of the wedding deposits. The venue, the planner, the photographer. All of it had been covered using the same family card our parents gave him, which was secretly linked to my account. I'd forgotten about it. I'd let it happen. And now, Clara found the statements while going through his laptop and flipped. Because he told her his savings had paid for everything. That he was financially stable. That I barely helped with anything. That I wasn't even close with the family. Then she found a Google Doc labeled Alex Emergency Plan, Worst Case. She snapped. Want to guess what it said? A step-by-step list of what to say if I ever tried to call him out in public. Quotes. Deflections. Lines like, "Alex has always been dramatic. He gets jealous when I succeed. He just wants attention." I couldn't believe it. By the time I stepped off the train and finally got signal again, my phone exploded with notifications. Texts from Mom. Voicemails from Dad. Missed calls from Lila. One panicked message from Clara. "I'm sorry. I didn't know. You were right about all of it." And then came the group chat. Family Corporation. 13 people. Ryan. "Alex, we need to talk." Mom. "Please don't make this worse." Dad. "This isn't the time for one of your speeches." Lila. "Everything's on fire." Literally. Clara. I moved out. I'm staying at a hotel. Don't call me. I stared at the screen and laughed. It was finally happening. Then I got a call from Grandma. I hadn't heard from her in months. She was the only one who ever truly saw me. She used to say, "Your silence is louder than their bragging, Alex." "You didn't go to the party?" she said, not even bothering with hello. "No. They deserve that." She paused. "Would you like to come for dinner this week? Just us." I blinked. "You're inviting me?" "Of course. I'm not blind. I've been watching all of this for years." That was all I needed to hear. But the real storm came 2 days later. I was back in the city when Mom called and demanded a meeting. "We need to talk this out, Alex," she said, "for the family." So I went. I met them at the family house, the same one where Ryan's party had been, now eerily quiet, like the celebration had been scrubbed out with bleach. When I walked in, the air was already thick with tension. Ryan was sitting in the living room, pale, silent, hands clenched. Dad stood near the fireplace. Mom was pacing. Clara's absence was like a ghost no one dared mention. Then Mom turned to me, hands on her hips. "You've been childish," she started. "You made a scene by not coming. Do you have any idea how humiliating it was to explain to guests why you weren't there?" I raised an eyebrow. "Humiliating for who?" "For us," she snapped. "People asked if we had a falling out. I had to say you were just busy with work." Ryan looked up, his voice barely a whisper. "Why are you trying to sabotage me?" I let out a dry laugh. "Is that what you think I'm doing? Sabotage? You didn't even tell me you were upset," he said. "You could have just said something." "Oh, you mean like when I texted Mom asking to help with your party and she ghosted me? Or when I found out I wasn't invited from Instagram?" Lila, who was in the corner awkwardly sipping tea, muttered, "You weren't technically uninvited." "Enough, Lila," my voice cracked. "You all knew." Ryan stood up. "I didn't think you'd want to come. We're in different stages of life. I just came back from a master's degree abroad. You're, still doing the same job. Still doing the same job. The job that paid for his tuition. The job that paid for his apartment. The job that bought his ring." "Wow," I said, stepping forward. "Say that again. But slower. You're twisting my words." "No," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "I'm just hearing them for what they are." Mom stepped in. "Enough. We didn't mean to exclude you, Alex, but you've always been so sensitive." There it was. The classic family hit. Not ignored. Not taken advantage of. Sensitive. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and turned the screen toward them. $48,600. I paused, letting the figure hang in the air. "That's how much I've sent over the last 3 years. Does this look sensitive to you?" No one spoke. "This is how much of my life I've handed over, quietly, willingly." And what did I get back? An Instagram story captioned, "The people who matter most," while I wasn't in it. Dad rubbed his forehead. "Let's not turn this into a drama." "It is a drama." I snapped. "It's your favorite genre. Starring Ryan as the golden boy, Mom as the martyr, and me as the background extra." Silence. And then I did something I never thought I'd do. I walked to the mantel, picked up a family photo. Ryan at graduation, me cropped halfway out, and placed it face down. "I'm done," I said, turning to them. "Done helping. Done paying. Done being quiet." "Alex," Mom whispered, "you don't mean that." Ryan's voice cracked. "You're my brother." I looked him in the eyes. "No, I was your wallet." And then I walked out. I didn't look back when I left. Not because I didn't want to, but because I knew that if I did, something in me would hesitate. Something would try to forgive. To go back to being quiet. But that version of me didn't survive the living room that day. The silence that followed was deafening. No missed calls. No frantic messages. No apologies. Just peace. The first night, I sat alone in my apartment and let myself feel it. The stillness, the weightlessness of not carrying anyone else's life. It was strange, almost disorienting, like taking off a backpack I forgot I was wearing for 10 years. Then, on day 3, the messages began. The first was from my mother. "You made your point. Enough already." The second from my father. "Your brother's devastated. He hasn't eaten. Are you happy?" I didn't reply. Because I was happy. Not in a smug way, not in a vengeful way, but in a free way. The kind of happiness that feels like sunlight on skin after years in a basement. The irony. For the first time in my life, I didn't want to fix it. I didn't feel guilt. I didn't wonder if I went too far. Instead, I started living. I took myself to breakfast, sat in the corner of a cafe with no phone, just a book. I walked through the park listening to jazz. I deleted the family group chat. I changed the password to the shared Netflix account. Little things, maybe, but they felt like reclaiming oxygen. Then, on the 5th day, my cousin Lila called. I almost didn't answer. "Hey," she said softly. "Can we talk about what happened?" I laughed. I didn't know it would go this far." "Go this far?" "I wasn't invited to my own brother's party, Lila." She hesitated. "I knew," she admitted. "I knew you weren't invited. Ryan told me not to tell you. He said, Alex won't mind, he's always busy anyway." There it was, the mask finally slipping. I didn't speak. "Clara left him," she said quickly, like pulling off a bandage. "She moved out. She found the bank records. She found out everything. She said she had no idea he used her card, or lied about it. About the trip to France? She's furious. Says she doesn't even know who he is." A pause. "She also said you're the only reason she gave him a second chance back then." I felt the words sit heavy in my chest. Not painful, just real. "Anyway," Lila said, her voice smaller now. "I'm sorry. For playing along. For being a coward. I didn't say it was okay, because it wasn't, but I thanked her for telling the truth." The next day my phone rang. "Dad." I let it ring. Then he texted, "Come for Sunday dinner. No pressure. Just talk." I didn't respond, because I wasn't ready to sit at that table again. Not as the same person who was once invisible there. On day 7, I got a message from Clara. "You were right about him. About all of it. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything you did. I just wish I had known sooner." I stared at her message for a long time. Not because it hurt, because it didn't. It felt like justice. Meanwhile, the family began to crack. My mother posted vague quotes on Facebook, like "forgiveness is divine," and "some people need time to grow." My father sent passive-aggressive texts. "We all have our roles in this family, Alex. You've always been the strong one." But I didn't want to be strong anymore. I wanted to be myself. So I started clearing the wreckage. I canceled the family card. Changed the auto payment on Ryan's subscriptions. Deleted myself from shared files, calendars, and accounts. Left the group chat for good. Every action felt like a key turning in a lock, not to shut them out, but to let me out. I spent the next few days somewhere quiet, up in the mountains. No phone signal. No conversations. Just air. And for the first time in years, I wasn't thinking about who needed something from me. I was thinking about what I needed. They thought I'd come back. They always do. That's the thing about people who use you. They assume you'll reset, that your boundaries are temporary, that your anger is performative, that you'll cool off, apologize, and go back to playing the role they cast you in. But not this time. Not after the silence. Not after the truth came out. Not after watching them squirm under the weight of the lives they built on my back. It's been a month. A full month since the party I wasn't invited to. Since I turned off the auto payments, deleted myself from their plans, and started writing my own. Since Clara left. Since Ryan's perfect image shattered like a champagne glass on marble. They've been trying everything. My mother left me a voicemail last week that started with, "I raised you better than this," and ended with, "This family is falling apart, and you're letting it happen." And she's right. I'm letting it happen. Because for the first time in my life, I'm choosing not to fix what I didn't break. My father texted me yesterday. "I hope you're proud. Your brother's depressed. Your mother cries every day." You know what's wild? They never asked how I'm doing. Not once. Not after being erased. Not after being stolen from. Not after watching them celebrate the golden sun I funded while pretending I didn't exist. But that's the point, isn't it? This was never about me. I was useful. A silent resource. A walking bank account with a familiar face. So when I disappeared, they didn't lose me. They lost access. And now they're panicking. Lila texted me a few nights ago. "You should see the group chat now. It's chaos. Ryan won't talk to anyone. Your mom's threatening to rewrite the will. It's like you lit a match and walked away." I didn't light the match. They did. When they left me off the guest list. When they said, "He forgot about you." When they laughed and toasted and danced, pretending I was dead weight. All I did was stop putting out their fires. The strange thing about peace is how addictive it becomes. I used to think love meant sacrificing. That family meant enduring. That to be a good son or a good brother meant swallowing disrespect for the greater good. But now, love, to me, looks like freedom. It looks like silence that heals, not silence that hides. It looks like waking up and not bracing myself for the next emotional invoice. And you know what else? I'm not bitter. That surprised me, honestly. I thought I'd be burning inside with resentment. But no, I'm done with the fire. That belonged to them. I have something better: stillness, control, my own name. This morning, I posted a photo from that train ride. The one with the panoramic glass and snow-capped peaks. In the caption, I wrote, "If they don't put you on the guest list, make your own destination." It went a little viral. Even Clara liked it. Lila sent me a screenshot of the family group chat losing their minds over it. Mom wrote, "He's mocking us publicly now." Dad replied, "Let it go. We lost him. You didn't lose me. You never had me. You had my money, my silence, my help. But me? You never even saw. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe one day I'll sit across from Ryan and he'll say the words I deserved 10 years ago. I'm sorry. I used you. I was selfish. Maybe he won't. Either way, I'm not waiting for it. I've stopped building bridges that only I walk on. From now on, I'm building walls. Not to keep people out, but to keep myself in. To protect the parts of me that were drained dry trying to keep others comfortable. To guard the peace I bled for. To finally, unapologetically, choose me.